Have you ever wondered what it would be like to live on a different planet and how your life might change? The question is more pertinent now than it has ever been before as a result of developments in both technology and the exploration of space. Join us as we discuss how your appearance could vary depending on the planet you lived on, as well as the physiological effects that such a lifestyle might have on your body. First, let us consider Mars. Mars is a planet that is frequently mentioned when discussing possible future homes for human existence. If you lived on Mars, you would need to wear a spacesuit to protect yourself from the harsh conditions, as the atmosphere on Mars is significantly thinner than that of Earth, and the temperature on Mars is significantly lower than that of Earth. You would weigh less because of Mars's reduced gravity, which is only around 38% of the gravity on Earth. This would also have an effect on the density of your muscles and bones. This could ultimately result in serious health complications down the road, such as osteoporosis. Next, let us consider Venus. Venus is frequently referred to as Earth's sister planet due to the similarities in its size and makeup. On the other hand, what it's like to live on Earth is nothing at all what it would be like to live on Venus. Lead can be melted at the surface temperature of Venus, which also has an atmosphere that is extremely dense and hazardous to human health. If you were living on Venus, you would have to reside in a floating colony high above the clouds of the planet in order to protect yourself from the severe weather. It would be difficult to breathe on Venus due to the high atmospheric pressure that prevails there, which would cause the air to feel thick and heavy. On Venus, there is no magnetic field, so if you were to go outside, you would be subjected to extremely high amounts of radiation from the sun, which might have devastating effects on your health. Moving on to Saturn's moon, Titan, which is frequently mentioned as one of the most promising options for maintaining human life outside of Earth. Titan has been described as having an atmosphere that may potentially support life. Titan's atmosphere is composed primarily of nitrogen, with smaller amounts of methane and other gases. On Titan, the surface temperature is bone-chillingly low, but the dense atmosphere would help keep you warm if you were to spend time there. If you lived on Titan, you would need to wear a special suit to protect yourself from the extreme cold and to allow you to breathe the air that is rich in nitrogen. The low gravity on Titan, which is only about 14% of the gravity on Earth, would cause you to weigh less, which might have an effect on your muscle and bone density. The gravity on Titan is just around 14% of the gravity on Earth. However, there is a possibility that the methane that is present in the atmosphere is poisonous. Consequently, living on Titan would demand vigilant environmental management. Let's turn our attention to Europa, one of Jupiter's moons. Because Europa is covered in a thick layer of ice, it is an extremely remote possibility that it could support human life on its surface. Recent research has suggested that Europa may conceal an ocean deep below its surface, which, if it exists, may make the planet habitable for some form of life. If you were living on Europa, you would have little choice but to construct your home beneath the ice, so that you could escape the harsh conditions that prevail on the planet's surface. The low gravity on Europa, which is only about 13% of the gravity on Earth, would cause you to weigh less, which might have an effect on your muscle and bone density. The gravity on Europa is just around 13% of the gravity on Earth. On the other hand, Europa does not have a magnetic field. So, if you were to visit there, you would be subjected to high levels of radiation from Jupiter, which could have adverse effects on your health. Finally, let's take a look at the Moon. If you were to live on the moon of our planet, you would face a lot of obstacles that would significantly alter your existence compared to what it's like here on Earth. Because the moon lacks an atmosphere, it receives no protection from the harmful rays of the sun or the debris that can be caused by meteorites. The temperature of the moon's surface shifts dramatically throughout the day, going from more than 100 degrees Celsius during the day to less than minus 150 degrees Celsius during the night. If you were to live on the moon, you would have to construct a habitat that was capable of shielding you from the moon's severe temperatures and the vacuum of space that surrounds it. You would weigh less due to the moon's low gravity, which is just approximately 16% of the gravity on Earth. This could have an effect on your muscle and bone density, similar to what would happen if you lived on Mars or Titan. On the other hand, in contrast to those planets, the moon does not possess an atmosphere or a magnetic field, so you would be exposed to the potentially hazardous effects of radiation. Living on different planets has a number of problems, not just physically, but also psychologically and socially. These challenges must be taken into consideration. If you were to live on a moon or a planet with a significantly smaller population than that of Earth, you would need to be ready for a totally different social milieu than what you're used to. You would most likely be living in a very small community, which would provide you with fewer opportunities for social interaction than you would have in larger communities, especially if you were used to having a more busy social life on Earth. This could lead to feelings of isolation and loneliness. In addition, adjusting to life on a new planet would demand a great amount of adaptation and adjustment on the part of the inhabitants, because, for example, the night and day cycle on Mars is different from that on Earth. You would have to readjust to a new sleeping schedule in order to survive there. You would need to acclimate to the varying gravity and atmospheric conditions of different planets, which may have a substantial influence on both your physical and mental health. In addition, you would need to leave your home planet in order to go to other planets. In conclusion, the possibility of living on other worlds is an intriguing one. Nevertheless, it is also an option that brings with it a great deal of difficulty. Each planet, from Venus with its harsh environment to Titan with its frigid temperatures and toxic atmosphere, poses its own special set of difficulties for the possibility of human life. Nevertheless, given the rapid development of technology and the ever-expanding scope of our knowledge of the cosmos, it is not inconceivable that we will one day be able to surmount these obstacles and start populating other planets with human communities. The question that arises next is how exactly we would readjust to life on a foreign planet. For many years to come, this is an issue that will continue to pique the interest of scientists, academics, and those who are passionate about space. Let us know which planet you would live on if you had the choice in the comment section below. And remember to subscribe to our channel so you'll be the first to know when we upload new videos.